Warning, the Stone Age Gamer includes a lot of bad language. Cover your mother***ing ears.
Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer Podcast. I'm Kris Randazzo and joining me tonight is Bearded Man in Blue, Dan Ryan.
It's so fucking accurate today. I'm currently wearing blue.
Oh,
Are you here? That's weird.
No, but my spy camera is. Oh. My nanny cam is.
Is that where that random teddy bear, is that what that's doing here?
You thought it was just a Jose Canseco bat, didn't you?
That's right. Thought it was weird. Masturbated in front of it anyway.
Got my money's worth. This month's edition of the Alphabet Super Series is here.
Oh, boy.
This month's letter was G, and we went with the SNK classic Guerrilla War. Has it stood the test of time? Climb in your tiny tank, because the Stone Age Gamer Podcast starts now. Hi, everyone. This is episode 480. It's the week of September 15th, 2023. And do you hear this? Do you know what that is?
It's the sound of inevitability, Mr. Anderson.
That is Pepto-Bismol, just in case. If I start feeling anything creeping up on me, I got Pepto right next to me in a tall glass of water. I am ready. I will not leave the podcast this time for you to talk about whatever foulness you were discussing, whatever
flim-flam. It was all right, Kris. We were having a bit of tea in. You were trying you were managing a fucking pressing situation. We were just having a little tea and it was fine.
I had some pressing business to attend to, you understand? Oh my God, Dan. So it's Friday.
Yeah, Kris, it is.
Friday is pizza and movie night around these parts. And
I'm so excited because we watched Coraline tonight and you watched a movie way worse than Coraline.
I watched a movie that I would consider to be way worse than most movies. I watched The Little Mermaid, the live action. It was Karen's pick, and Ellie was like all excited to see it, and Karen was like, I can't think of anything else, and I am morbidly curious about this. I said, hey, I'm morbidly curious about it too. This is an excuse to say that I've seen it, and actually see it in action.
Right.
It is not the worst movie I've ever seen, which is probably the best thing I can say about it.
But it's so fucking bad.
It's pretty pointless.
It's so bad. Like
you can get away with a lot of weird shit in animation because it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
But once you start making that live action, once you've committed to that level of detailed realism, everything that's weird starts to stick out a lot more. Like, that's not how paper works underwater.
No.
It's not.
No.
You can't just start flipping pages of a book underwater like that.
Unless it's waterproof paper.
Unless it is, which I don't know was a thing that existed back then, whenever this is supposed to take place.
The biggest issue I had with that movie, and there's no
was it the fucking seagull? Because that was my biggest problem.
I love Awkwafina, and she's wonderful.
Not in this movie.
No, she's not. But...
No, she's not. She's fucking terrible. I don't know why they gender bent that character. I don't know why they went with Awkwafina, and I don't know why she chose to be as annoying as she was in this movie to play that part, because that's not the part, and it ruined every scene that she was in. And I don't dislike Awkwafina. I don't.
Yeah,
I didn't necessarily... I thought she was pretty great in Shang-Chi. I didn't necessarily mind her as Miss Spider in The Bad Guys, even though that is not that character. Like, they changed that character completely from the books.
Sure.
Which was kind of dumb. But she wasn't bad in it. She just wasn't the character from the books. But this was like, you actively made everything worse. Why did you do this? This is, like... You just completely ruined Scuttle. There was nothing endearing about this character anymore. It was just as obnoxious as she could be the entire time. Like, that was the joke. Like, she was being obnoxious, like, was the joke. It was intentional, and it was fucking stupid. And not only that, but the beginning of the movie, when you first meet Scuttle, they show the bird dive underwater and then come back up for air. And then the bird goes underwater and has, like, a solid 5-minute conversation underwater.
Yeah.
Just talking underwater.
Yeah.
Where there's no air, just having a whole ass conversation with a realistic crab and a realistic fish. You know what you can't do with realistic fish?
That's my problem.
You can't have
you hit it.
facial expressions.
You found it. Sebastian and fucking what's his
Flounder.
Dick? Flounder. Yeah.
Poor
those
Flounder.
two. Because would it have been so out of pocket, so out of bounds to have Sebastian look the way he looks in the animated movie, but like just make that look somewhat realistic? Would that have been
the Sonic the Hedgehog thing?
Because it was so fucking unnerving to look at that fucking thing and to listen to that. It was just, I don't know, man. I don't know why that one. Because Lion King fucking sucks. That was real bad. Aladdin
Flounder
was real
that
bad.
Hit me more than Sebastian, because at least with Sebastian they put those kind of goofy eyes on him. It was still terrible. Don't get me wrong, but like Flounder was just a fucking fish.
Yeah,
just dead-eyed fish. But they're having like this enthusiastic conversation. Yeah. But like they want all. It can't blink. It can't change the shape of its eyes. It's just a dead-eyed fucking fish. With its lips flapping. It looked fucking stupid.
Just flapping some meat.
But I did not care for Melissa McCarthy as Ursula. Did not do it for me. I thought she was
okay.
Here's the thing with Ursula.
So
Ursula needs to take herself seriously. Right? She's a little goofy, but she needs to be self-serious. And Melissa McCarthy wasn't. She was a fucking goofball. And it didn't work. She didn't have that presence that Ursula in that animated movie has a fucking presence.
Oh, she's fucking scary.
There was nothing scary about her until she got, as John said, she went Gigantamax. Because everything's Pokemon with that boy.
Yeah, I mean, he's not. Tell me when he's telling lies.
Exactly. Who was it? It was that one, and the other thing that really bothered me, King Triton was terrible too, and like that guy's not a bad actor, so I don't know what was going on there.
I don't know, man. I hear that a lot
fish.
About Javier Bardem.
I haven't seen him in anything. I hear that he's a good actor, but he was fucking dead fish this entire movie.
The Coen brothers,
and even worse,
the blood.
They put no thought into what this guy looks like out of the water.
No,
right? Because like. He's supposed to be the king. When the king gets out of the water in the movie, the animated movie, he looks just like him. You know, he's ornate, he's big, he's awesome. When he gets out of the water in this one, he just looks like a sad, soggy, wet dude. Like they gave no thought to that at all. He's all pale and the wig's all like flopped down. Like, okay, I get it that's kind of what thin hair would look like out of the water, but this is supposed to be like a big royal dude, and he just looked like shit. This is.
It should have been Taika Waititi, first of all.
Right.
That's who should have played
fucking
King
Blackbeard.
Triton.
That would have been great.
Javier Bardem. I'm looking through the movies he's been in right now, because I hear a lot of shit about him being a good actor too. And maybe he's fucking great, because I haven't seen a lot of this shit. Like, I don't know if I've seen Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, because... I don't know, I was kind of done
he
with
was
those
the bad
movies.
guy in that. Yeah, he was all right in that. He was fine.
Did I see Skyfall? Skyfall was okay. He was okay.
Yeah. I don't know that I did see Skyfall. I can't remember if I saw that now. I don't think we ever did. That was the last one, right?
Beautiful. I don't like Vicky Cristina Barcelona. I didn't like anybody in that fucking movie. No Country for Old Men he's good in, but then like there's a whole lot of other stuff that I don't know. He was fucking bad in this movie. It should have been Taika Waititi. And fucking the dude from what the fuck was that Netflix show that should have been way better than it was? The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh.
Right? Did you see that? Wow. Titus. The black dude, her neighbor. That's who should have fucking been Ursula. If you've ever seen that dude perform, no, legit.
Right.
If you've ever seen him perform,
I never would have crossed my mind, but yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
Souls. There is like a YouTube video of him doing it, and he fucking kills it. It's amazing. that was your fucking Ursula. If you had
in a million
any balls.
I was gonna say in a million years Disney would never have done that. Who did that weird gender bent Cinderella one? Because that was also not very good.
Oh, I don't know.
I think that was Netflix.
It might have been.
Anyway, I hated this movie.
It was real bad, and what really sucks about it too is the
runtime.
Did your kids
2.5
even like
hours. I liked it okay. Like Under the Sea, Ellie was like a little captivated by, and the whole time looking at it like, okay, this looks very expensive. But it's like the animated movie has the hot crustacean band, whereas this one just kind of mentions it while a bunch of neat looking starfish twirl around. Like, but other than that, yeah, she was kind of into it, but not really. John was just kind of. He was into it because of the fish. Like, he just likes fish right now, right? That's his thing. Sure. So, like, he wasn't into the movie, but he was into watching it, because there were lots of cool ocean things happening. But, yeah, none of us were particularly into it.
I don't know how well it did with little black kids, which hopefully, right, because that was like kind of the whole thing, right? When this movie was announced, and Twitter did what Twitter does. People are like, oh, they're gonna fucking woke bullshit. They're gonna fucking make the fish black. It's like, shut the fuck up, assholes. But, like, I don't know if it performed well with, like, black and brown families. And if they loved it, then awesome. I hope it did well. You know what I mean? So that, like, there was at least that maybe was positive out of it, but I've heard literally nothing but bad about it.
Yeah,
I haven't heard anybody be like, yeah, I mean, this movie sucked, but, my daughter fucking loved it. Like, I haven't even seen that kind of shit.
I've heard that from a couple of people.
Have you?
Their kids liked it.
I hope that's what happened, because that's really, like, these movies aren't for us.
No, they're not. But, like, they also don't need to exist at all. That's the part that I just don't understand. Besides the fact that they somehow make money, but, like, I don't get it. I don't get
the live action Beauty
money.
and the Beast was okay. That's about the only live action one that I've seen.
Okay at best, and I think even that's a stretch. It was,
but I didn't turn that one off.
I mean, Aladdin was fucking awful. And
I made it up to the first Genie song in Aladdin before I shut that off. I think I was maybe 10 minutes into The Lion King where I was like, nope, this is fucking garbage. I'm out of here.
This is just bad.
This is real stupid.
I remember we're watching this one, and they gave Prince Eric a fucking song, and Karen's like, what is this shit? Eric doesn't deserve a song. What is this nonsense? And I was like, I hope it's as pointless as the Jasmine song in Aladdin, because that's fucking hilarious, where she's singing about how, like, she won't be chained down and nothing's going to chain her down, and then the next scene she gets literally chained down. Like, oh, wow, way to go, movie. You really put the female empowerment on a high gear for a song, and then immediately undid it in the next scene, you fucking ghouls. What's wrong with you? Jesus Christ.
That's fucking fun.
And, like, was it, Under the Sea, it wasn't, like, I hated Friend Like Me in the new Aladdin. I hate these movies. I wish they'd stop happening. Like, I don't know what they're going to do next. I don't think they can. I don't think
Wonderlands were okay. Those were actually, like, the first one I thought was pretty good. I like Johnny Depp's Mad Hatter. I thought that was cool.
What's fucking next? Pinocchio? No, not Pinocchio.
No, they
did
that. They did that with Tom Hanks. I won't fucking watch it.
Fucking Pocahontas.
Oh, are they doing that next?
I dare you.
I dare you.
I think the next one's Snow White, isn't it? And there's, like, a whole thing about how, like, the movie's changing, like, a ton of stuff about it because the people who are making it don't actually like Snow White. So, not sure what's going on there.
They should do Pocahontas and fucking, I don't know, what would be the thing that would piss off people the most? Like, what could they do to just make everybody as angry as possible?
Make it historically accurate.
Make it historically accurate. They should fucking cast Mel Gibson to play Pocahontas. That's what they should fucking do.
Yes. Oh my god.
Mel
Make
Gibson's...
an actual historically accurate Pocahontas movie.
Oh god. What a fucking...
Rated R.
What a liberty. A bunch of nonsense. Good god. Thankfully, Kris. Thankfully, Ahsoka has been fucking awesome.
Oh my god, I love it.
It's so
I'm
good.
so happy. Oh,
It's
this
so
new
good.
episode was so awesome. And I hate Hayden Christensen.
I do
I mean,
too.
I don't hate him personally. I have
I
nothing against
I
the
do
man
personally. He punched me in the balls once.
He
was like,
probably
"Hey,
had it
Hayden
coming.
Christian, what's up?" And he was like, "That's not my fucking name, asshole." Punched me right in the dick. It's like, oh, that's fair. You're a bad
I'm
actor.
so interested in that whole scene. I'm very curious what's going to happen next. I want to know how she got to the world between worlds. I want to know what's going on with Anakin. Why is he de-aged? Why is he young Anakin? But if he's that young Anakin, why is he wearing all black? What's going on?
What's up? I know.
I have questions. They need answers. I love what's his name? Balin, the guy that I'm very sad that he died,
Ray
especially
Stevenson?
now because
Yeah.
Ray Stevenson, because holy shit, he's really great. But that whole fight with Ahsoka was, oh god, the fight choreography's been so good in this. It's been good. I know people were bitching early on that it's
really
too
good.
slow. Fuck off that it's too slow. I can actually see what's happening. So no, it's not too slow. It's right on cue, and like the actual fight choreography is super cool. They're doing cool moves, and I'm super into it.
It's a
I
fucking
want to know more about
samurai movie.
Sabine.
I love it.
Fucking training Sabine as a Jedi without the ability to like a natural innate ability to harness the Force. Just David Tennant is that. I was so like not happy with that droid in Clone Wars. I skipped most of those episodes because they were so goddamn boring. Because there was nothing of consequence happening. It was just him walking around with a whole bunch of like little mini younglings or whatever. It's like, okay, what are we doing here? Stop it. I'm bored. You're boring me. Stop it.
Bored.
But he's so great in this. He's just I love it. My Star Wars horror sirens are just blaring constantly, and the next episode is going to be like almost an hour long, and it's directed by Dave Filoni, and I have a really good feeling about it. I'm scared. Like, the world between worlds is such a dangerous sandbox to play in, because like
it really fucking is.
That could go
really
horribly
is.
awry with like you start messing with time travel stuff. They've laid those rules pretty hard in Rebels, and I trust that they're not going to fuck this up. Right? I trust that they're not going to make any huge mistakes, because they haven't thus far. But like right now, the the prevailing theory from the prequel fandom, like you know, the most obnoxious Star Wars fans of all,
the ones who keep pretending that shit was good, because it fucking wasn't.
They're just
I'm sorry.
They are convinced that this is their way of erasing the sequel trilogy. They're going to push the sequel trilogy to an alternate timeline,
like
which isn't going to fucking happen.
This recent fucking trilogy that just happened.
The Rey trilogy, you know, that they
Oh, shut
they
the
all
fuck
hate.
up! No, they're not.
They're going to erase 7, 8, and 9.
You twats! Fuck off.
They're like, no, this is going to make that a separate this, so they can keep making those movies because they won't count. They're not part of the canon anymore. This is going to erase all that, and then we're going to get the real story that happens next. Like, fuck you.
No, we're
It's
not.
just not going to happen. It's just
we're
not.
not.
They've been spending so much time doing the Filoni thing that he did to fix the prequels. He's kind of sort of fixing the sequels, even though they don't need nearly as much fixing as the prequels did.
They really don't. They really fucking don't.
I mean, yeah, those movies got some problems. They sure do. They're not perfect, but they didn't break shit like the prequels did. But yeah, that's the prevailing theory from them that I'm just looking forward to being wrong. No, all I'm concerned about is that they don't start going into like multiverse stuff, because everything's been super hard on multiverse stuff, and I think they're smarter than that. I don't think we're doing multiverse in Star Wars, because that's just a bad idea, and I don't want to see it happen at all. I'm done with multiverses. Marvel and DC ground that shit into the pavement beyond recognition. I'm done with it. Let's just Star Wars be Star Wars. But I have faith. Filoni has not let me down in the past. Rebels was great. I'm super excited about it. I fucking love it.
Yeah, it's been super duper good. And I've been we didn't watch Mandalorian season 3 for some fucking reason. I don't remember why we didn't watch it, but we didn't. So we've been going back and watching that like as we have time in between, because it's been a busy fucking week. Not with like anything fun, just with life.
Right.
And we just finished the episode with the fucking doctor.
Right.
All on fucking whatchamacallit. All on Coruscant.
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, I kind of just want to watch Mando though.
Yeah, that was
this guy.
That was kind of the weird thing about season 3.
This.
Like, that was a really good episode of a very good episode of a different show.
Of a very different show, kind of the way they did Book of Boba Fett. Of like,
yeah,
this is a really good episode of The Mandalorian here in the middle of this really average Book of Boba Fett show.
It's really strange that how they keep doing this. Like, I feel like they're getting better. They're kind of getting their feet under them on how to do Star Wars TV shows. Like, it's starting to come together, but they keep doing these weird things. Like, I will never understand why Book of Boba Fett went the way that it did. Like,
I don't know why it existed.
I know why it existed. I just don't know why it went that way. Like, the whole point of it, I guess, was to put Boba Fett back on the board. He's a marketable character.
Yeah,
let's do something with Boba Fett, right?
That could have been
great.
An episode and a half of The Mandalorian, though.
It could have been, or it could have been a really good show. But they did neither of those things.
No, they neglected to do either.
They neglected, like,
Let's do something completely different.
I very much would have enjoyed watching a show about Boba Fett being the daimyo and taking over Jabba's place and fighting other gangsters and coming to the realization that he wants to just fly around the galaxy and fuck shit up. I would have liked to watch that show. But instead, we got a show that I enjoyed because I'm a Star Wars whore.
Yeah, it was fine.
It was fine, but it went a little too hard in a lot of weird directions. It's like, all right, I think I've seen this Tusken Raider show, and it was very interesting, but that should have been an episode.
Yeah,
that shouldn't have been half the season. That should have been an episode, right?
Yeah,
get this man out of the back tank. Like, yes, Boba Fett crawls out of the sand. Let's do it. I went back and rewatched. What was it? I rewatched Mandalorian. Remember when he first got his armor back, and was it season 2 of Mandalorian? You're like, well, shit, that's the Boba Fett that I always wanted to see from the original trilogy.
That's right.
I felt like we got exactly none of that in the in the Boba Fett show, except, well, we did get Boba Fett riding a fucking Rancor, which was outstanding.
That was fine. I will
that
forever
made me very happy.
I will fucking die on the hill that Boba Fett is a shit character. He's a shit character.
That's the thing. He is a shit character, but this is the opportunity to make him not a shit character.
No, you can't, because he's a shit character.
He's not. He's not a character. That's the thing. He was nothing but potential, because there's no character there in the original trilogy. You could just make him whatever you want. So make him something cool.
He's a fucking outfit. He sucks.
Look at Darth Maul. They did with Darth Maul, right? Darth Maul looked incredibly cool, and he served his purpose very well in episode 1. But he wasn't much of a character. He was just like, bad guy, looks cool, stabs Qui-Gon. Okay.
Yeah.
But like, then they made him into a cool character, because you can do that kind of thing. When you have a blank canvas of like, hey, I have this really cool looking character, why don't we turn him into something cool? And they could have done that. And apparently they did that in the comics a bunch that I didn't read over the years, but neither here nor there.
Boba Fett sucks. That's all there is to it. Boba Fett's a trash character. I hate him. I hate him. There's no redeeming him. No, he probably doesn't. Cool. Fuck him. Fucking fight me, Boba Fett. I fucking beat up Timu Morrison or whatever his name is.
Tamora Morris.
He's way older than me.
I liked all that stuff.
Take him in a fight. Probably. I don't know.
With him and Space Raylan Givens. Oh my goodness. Space Raylan Givens. I want him back. I need him back. You didn't watch Justified, did you?
No.
Oh, okay.
I like Timothy Olyphant.
Timothy Olyphant. Yeah, he's great. I loved him. I fucking love that character, and I want more of him. He's got he's got cyborg parts now. They saved his life, and he's getting cyborg parts. Now he gets cyborg Space Raylan Givens. I'm so excited. I just can't wait to see him. I don't know when we're going to see him again. We also just started watching that Justified City Primeval, which is quite good.
Is it?
Because Justified was a fantastic show. And we were kind of concerned because like the whole thing about Justified was like it was equal parts amazing Timothy Olyphant and amazing Walt Goggins. But like Walt Goggins isn't in this new one because it's in a whole different place. So the new bad guy is like Boyd Crowder would never. That was his Walt Goggins' character's name. And like this new guy did something in like episode 2, and I turned to Karen, I was like, Boyd Crowder would never have done that. And she was like, Boyd Crowder never would have done that. No. Goddamn right. But either way, the show's great. Timothy Olyphant is wonderful, and I love him in Star Wars, and I love him in Justified. But hey, have you been playing any video games?
Well, I started playing what the fuck? I played a lot of Guerrilla War over the last couple of days so I could finish that. Because I did finish it. I was thinking about it today, right when we started the podcast, thinking, did I finish it? Yeah, because it's so fucking short. I finished it. Been getting through more Sea of Stars, not nearly as much as I would like.
Same here.
But man, that game just continues to be really fucking delightful.
Yeah, I just finished the section with the mole people.
Yes, I finished that this week too.
That's as far as I got. I'm like, I just finished that up, and we're ready to move on to the next area, and that's where I stopped, and I put a little bit more time into Karateka. I mean, obviously, I've still been playing Vampire Survivors because that doesn't require my attention. That's just like, cool, let's do it. I don't have to. I can do this at any time, and just hooray, which has been wonderful and great, and God, it's so much fun to get back into that game.
Yeah, I do have to pick that up at some point, but I did.
It's $5 goddamn.
No, I know. I've been playing a lot of Snap this week as well because the new season started this week with the new card Loki, which is insanely stupid. It's such a dumb card. I fucking love it so much. And it's so funny to watch the inevitable Twitter meltdown that happens every time a new card like this is released in Snap. Of like, well, this card's so fucking broken. This game's just not fun. It's fucking stupid. It's like, yes, they are trying to make money. Again, I'm not sure why any of you fucking continue to have this same conversation every week. They release a broken card. It's broken for a couple of weeks. Then when you can't buy it anymore, they fucking nerf it. And then they're gonna do it again. They're gonna. You know why? Because that's how they fucking make money. And I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it because it's $10 a month. I got $10 a month to spend. It's just, shut up. Play the fucking game. It's great. It's super duper fun. What the fuck else have I been playing? A little bit more WrestleQuest. Because I just got... So, a couple weeks ago, on the podcast, I had mentioned that my computer fucking sucked balls. And not like in a sexy fun way, just in a like with a teeth kind of way. Yeah, right? This is fucking bad. And one of our listeners, and I didn't clear this with them first, so I don't want to say anything more than that, but one of the listeners sent me a new fucking desktop today, or sent it this week, and it came in the mail today, and I hooked it up and started playing through Snap on my computer, and it didn't fucking explode. And I played WrestleQuest for a couple minutes on Steam, and it didn't fucking explode. Like, it loaded right up. It was like, oh, this is what this is like? Fucking awesome. I'm so excited. So now I've got to play Sea of Stars and Snap and WrestleQuest and whatever else I'm going to throw at this computer. It's going to be fucking awesome, and I'm really excited about it.
Fantastic.
The main thing, like mostly what we've done this week, though, honestly, is watch TV, either wrestling or baseball or Star Wars. Because last week, man, I got to tell you, Kris, pro wrestling, when it's good, like when pro wrestling is good, it's fucking great. It's just the best thing in the world. Last Sunday, there were these two guys in AEW that had a pay-per-view called All Out, right? And there was a whole bunch of drama with CM Punk and shit that I'm not going to like bring up here because nobody fucking cares except for me. But they had these two big dudes, the big fucking hoss fight, right? Named Miro and Powerhouse Hobbs. right? And there was a video a couple years ago of Big E, who's a wrestler for WWE, talking about what he wants out of a dream match, okay? And what Big E wants out of a dream match, it's one of the fucking funniest videos that I've ever seen. Even if you don't like wrestling, just watching this guy talking about fucking what he wants out of wrestling is big meaty men slapping meat. That's what he wants out of professional wrestling. And he's just giggling his fucking face off. Everybody else is tee-heeing. That's why I've been saying tee-heeing all day, because I showed my kid the video the other day. But it's he wants big meaty men slapping meat, right? So you get this match this past weekend at the pay-per-view, 2 big meaty men slapping meat. And the fucking crowd in Chicago was so on point that they started chanting, "Slap that meat" was one of the chants that happened during the match. So, like, you know, just slap that meat. Slap that meat. It's fucking hysterical. As the guys are punching each other and clotheslining each other, the whole crowd is going, oh, like as they're winding up for the punch. And when the punch connects, 10,000 people just scream the word meat. Fucking incredible. It was so great. It was so fucking funny. So there's been a lot of wrestling this week and a lot of baseball because the Yankees called up their fucking young prospects and they've been doing good, Kris. Jason Dominguez, the Martian, has landed. And he's fucking killing it. It's great. I know that was like a weird fucking side piece. That really just to say that I haven't played much of Sea of Stars this week is really what it comes down to.
Well, it was fun to listen to. You were very enthusiastic about it, so.
I love big meaty men slapping meat, Kris. I get fucking excited. Don't fucking judge me. Pro wrestling is better than anything you love. How dare you? How fucking dare you?
No judgment here.
It's really hard not to get excited when 10,000 people are screaming meat upon every punch. It's fucking silly. Love it. Anyway, what have you been doing?
Well, let's see. I told you about how far I got in Sea of Stars. Again, loving it. That whole situation with the what is it? The mole people going underground, and like as soon as I got there and they started talking about this wizard Mud something.
Yeah.
Mud, I can't remember his name. It's like something's gonna be different because I just played the Messenger earlier this year. Something's gonna be goofy about this guy.
Yep.
And like, sure as shit, it was a little goofball, and I was really happy when we finished the fight, and like Garl coming out being the MVP again.
Fuck yeah.
Making peace with the guy, making friends. Like, yes, I love this. This is great.
I'm going to be really sad. I don't know that this happens, but I'm making a prediction. I'm going to be real sad when Garl turns on us.
See, I have that same fear that he's going to be like the big bad the whole time. Like, he's just pretending or something. There's going to be some sort of horrible evil or something. I don't know. I'm scared that that's
something's going to happen to push him or something. It's going to fucking bum me out and be real sad.
I feel like this game is too wholesome for that. Unless that's what I want it to be.
That's what they're setting us up for, Kris. It's a bait and switch.
We'll see. Right now, Garl is wonderful. I love him. So yeah, Sea of Stars is wonderful. More Vampire Survivors. Karateka continues to be fascinating. I didn't play any of the weird ass games from the Nintendo Switch offline update. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
That's not true. I did play. I played some of Joy Mech Fight. Look. I love that we're getting weird games on NSO. I really do, but there are so many.
But you're missing some classics, guys.
You're missing some big stuff. We're whipping out Quest for Camelot for Game Boy Color.
Yeah. I mean,
this is a movie tie-in game.
Yeah.
I am really confused why this is the pull. We got Joy Mech Fight, Famicom, and the Kirby Star Stacker, Kirby Superstar Stacker for Super Famicom. Absolutely no translation at all. Just good luck. The menus are more or less easy to figure out, but it's like they're not. There's no. It's just all Japanese. Like I don't understand what's going on here, but all right, good for you. It's just neat to have the Kirby Superstar Stacker because I liked the Game Boy one, and there's a Super Nintendo sequel that I never really got to play before. And Joy Mech Fight being released, Joy Mech Fight is just such an interesting game. It's actually really fun. What was the fourth one?
I don't know. That was the other thing we've been doing is that we have continued to play Mario Kart. Just every couple of days, we'll be like, all right, let's do some more Mario Kart. Because I just resubscribed to the Switch Online thing so we can play all the other tracks and shit. Oh,
it was another Kunio-kun game, like a Crash and the Voice style.
Okay.
Again, not in English.
Sure. I feel like those really don't need to be.
But still, they just dropped 3 completely untranslated games that are pretty out there, and Quest for Camelot.
It's a bold
Super
strategy,
Mario Brothers
Cotton.
Deluxe is not on, like, we're talking the Game Boy library here.
Yeah.
The other ones, sure, like NES games, you've gone pretty far with NES. There's still a lot of great NES games that aren't licensed things that you could still get, but okay,
sure.
Joy Mech Fight, do your thing. I like that they've been putting all the Super Nintendo exclusive Japanese puzzle games on NSO. I think that's pretty cool too. The Crash and the Boys game, that's actually on a collection right now, as far as I know. The Kunio-kun bundle, I'm pretty sure this game is in there, so that's kind of redundant. But that's, NES and Super Nintendo. We've had those for a while, so sure, let's get some weird shit on there. I'm fine with that from time to time. But the Game Boy one, there's like 8 games on the NSO Game Boy one, and we don't have we don't have Super Mario Land, we don't have Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters, we don't have Alleyway, we don't have Tennis, we don't have
you don't have fucking
Wario
Tennis
Land.
like that. You just should have started and stopped with Tennis. Like, how do you not have Game Boy Tennis?
Game's so great. F1 race, like Super RC Pro-Am, Pokemon. Granted, there's Pokemon trading card game, but
yeah, but
Pokemon Red
Pokemon
and Blue,
trading,
like
trading card game. That game sucks. I don't know that it sucks. I'm just
yeah, I don't know that it sucks either.
I've never even tried it. Yeah,
but like the Game Boy,
I'm just speaking from a place of hate, Chris.
Balloon Kid, give me Bubsy 2 for fuck's sake, like. Donkey Kong 94, any of the Donkey Kong lands, Dr. Mario,
sure. Yeah,
Game & Watch Gallery 1, right? Like 3's up there. Where's 1 and 2?
Yeah.
There's so much. There's so
Nintendo gonna
much.
Nintendo, man. That's what they do.
Or, here's a shot in the dark, the original Kirby Star Stacker that was already translated in English. Come on.
Could maybe
we
do
got
that.
those Mega Man games on there, right? They're not in a collection
those
anywhere.
Would be fucking dope.
They went up on the eShop, the 3DS eShop.
Yeah.
Let's throw those fucking things on there, huh? Why not? Get to work. Get to work. Why are we doing Quest for Camelot?
I don't know.
What's wrong with you?
There's a couple things that happen in the video game world, Chris, that you think like just why? Why would you do that?
Yeah. Why would you do that?
You didn't have to. You didn't have to do that. You could have done a number of things. I'm not even mad that you did do it. It's just weird that you did. And I wish somebody could pop in and be like, hey, so here was our thinking behind that. And they don't fucking owe us that. They don't.
They don't.
But I am fascinated by their decision-making process because I feel like they're just picking shit out of a hat.
Like, Nintendo Switch Online has become a bit of a punchline. And it doesn't need to be, because, what was it, the last lineup they did was great. They did, like, Kirby Tilt and Tumble and stuff. Like, that was a really great update. Good for you guys, but when you're looking at the selection of games that are available, and then you look at, like, all right, but what if we found, like, a really bad Jalico game and just threw that up there instead? Of this, there's this legit classic that we own outright.
Yeah.
We just own this. We don't have to do anything to obtain this. But what if we threw some money at, like, whatever's left of Accolade, right? Let's get Claymates up on there. That's important.
Yeah. It's...
I don't mean any huge disrespect to any Claymates fans. I'm just like, guys,
but also shut up a little bit.
There's so much that you could be doing with this service.
Yeah.
And you're just not. And that makes me sad. It makes me sad every day.
It does indeed suck.
It does. And I because I was all excited, right? We just got Excitebike 64, like, what, last week? And Excitebike 64.
Yeah, last week, 2 weeks ago, something like that.
That's a legit fantastic game. Thank you for finally giving us that N64 game, because, like, that went on a weird hiatus, right? They announced, like, all these N64 games, and we've gotten, like, 2 of them. Like, where's Mario Party 3? What?
Hopefully
I don't even want to play it.
gone.
I just want to know what happened. You said Mario Party 3, and then you didn't release it. Like, you own that game.
1080 Snowboarding was the other one, I think.
Yeah, what was there was a handful that they announced, and, like, 1080 was one of them. Mario Party 3 was one of them. Like,
Harvest Moon, maybe?
Oh, did they announce? Oh, I think that one came out in the Japanese version.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Or maybe that was the Super Nintendo one. I don't know. There's a Harvest Moon somewhere, but it's not in English yet, I don't think. But that game was released in North America, so I don't know why we don't have the English version, but so whatever. Anyway, I spent a couple of minutes with a couple of those games. It's a weird service, and I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, that's weird.
What else? So I bought the SNK 40th collection for the to play Guerrilla War.
Right.
I didn't need to do that because I have the original cartridge that I could have played on the NES, and I have an EverDrive N8 where I could have played it on there. But I've been looking for an excuse to buy SNK 40th for a while.
Right.
And this was good enough for me. So it was on sale, and I picked it up because I was really most interested in it because, one, I wanted to play the arcade version. Now, granted, I could just load it up on that arcade machine that you got me. But again, looking for an excuse.
That I got you. How fucking dare you? That I built you with my own 2 hands, Kris.
Yes, you built with your own blood,
sweat, and tears. Semen. What?
Oh, God, that's what's holding it together.
Gross.
We're out of glue, Dan. Get to work.
Sorry, fine. Fuck.
But I was also really interested in SNK 40th because when we interviewed Stephen Frost, he said that SNK 40th was kind of the start of their whole, like, that was kind of the blueprint for what became Atari 50, which is what became the Gold Series. Right. And I didn't really understand what he meant by that. And now I kind of do. It's not as obvious as in Atari 50, right? Because it's the bonus features. You go in there, and it doesn't do the whole interactive timeline thing the same way that it does in Atari 50 and Making of Karateka. It just kind of has a list of all of SNK's games in chronological order, everything that they've ever made.
Okay.
And then you
Which is a lot of shit.
It is a lot of shit. And you click on them, and, like, there'll be, like, a picture of concept art, and then there'll be a box, and then the next button you press, some text will show up on the screen explaining what this game is and what its historical context is. It's like, it's not as in depth as what they eventually wound up doing with Atari 50, but you can definitely see the clear line of, like, so this is them really testing the idea of building an interactive timeline.
Right.
Which
this is where
really
they were headed. Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually really neat to pick through, and I'm looking forward to spending time going through all of that. Way more. So one of the reasons I didn't pick up the SNK 40th for the longest time was because I wasn't all that interested in the games that are on it. Like, I don't love a lot of SNK's classic arcade games.
Because you're a fucking monster.
Well, that's the thing. I like them, but this doesn't have stuff like King of Fighters and Metal Slug. This is the old SNK stuff. We're talking like Athena and POW, and, like, I like POW, but I didn't really, like, love the games that were on there enough to go out of my way and say, yeah, I really, really do want to buy this.
Sure.
I just kind of wanted to buy it. So, like I said, I was looking for an excuse to buy this. Like, something needed to push me over the edge. Because, like, again, I like this game selection. I just don't love most of these games. But that being said, I'm really glad that I have it, and I'm probably going to explore some more of these games, but I'm really just more interested in the timeline, because as much as I'm not the biggest SNK fan in the world, the stuff that I remember playing from them as a kid on NES, I really did like. I rented Alpha Mission a whole bunch of times from my local video store. I've never played the arcade version of it. I never got into Akari Warriors. I'm very interested to see how it plays in this collection, because the arcade version of Akari Warriors, similar to Guerrilla War, which we'll talk about later, used a rotary, like a rotary dial. And when they translated that to the NES, it was terrible. Like, I never liked Akari Warriors on NES because they just didn't do a very good job of translating that game to NES. Whereas the arcade version, what they did with the arcade version of Guerrilla War was kind of made a dual analog, and that seemed to work for me a little bit. So I'm curious to see how they mapped Akari Warriors, the arcade version, into this collection. I had never played I love POW for NES. I was a big fan of that game.
Yeah, that game's really fucking cool. I like that.
Not quite enough to be like, oh, I need to buy this collection immediately, right? It was like POW, Guerrilla War, and Alpha Mission. I was like, do I want to spend $40 for those 3 NES games? I just don't. Like, I'm almost there, but not quite. But it was on sale for $20, and we had to put it regardless. I was really fun playing the NES version of POW again, because I haven't played it in a long time. But it's got really good music. That game it's just a really fun beat 'em up. It's very, very deliberate. It's just really chunky, but not in an imprecise kind of a way. But I've never played the arcade version. I'm very curious to try that out and see how it stacks up to the NES conversion, because the NES conversion I thought was fantastic. But yeah, SNK 40th is a really great collection. So I'm glad I have it. Thumbs up.
Yeah, I'd be down to pick that up at some point. $20 is still too much it's not too much for what it actually offers. It's too much for how much I would actually play it.
Exactly. That's really where I'm at. Content-wise, there's definitely $40 worth of content.
Oh,
like,
without question.
When I'm looking at the games that are on here, I don't like Crystalis, which is one of the big ones on here. We tried that game. I didn't love it. I don't know Ozma Wars. I don't know Sasuke versus Commander. I've never played Fantasy. Vanguard's... I don't think I've ever actually played Vanguard, to be perfectly honest. I don't know what Munch Mobile is. I like Alpha Mission. I'm looking forward to trying the arcade version, but I liked the NES game. I don't know TNK3. The NES version of Athena is garbage.
Yeah.
I didn't like Akari Warriors or its sequel, but I'm looking forward to trying the arcade flavors of those. Bermuda Triangle I'm not familiar with. Guerrilla War we'll talk about later. I don't know Psycho Soldier. Time Soldiers? I don't think I've ever played that one either.
Psycho Soldier's pretty cool. Time Soldier's pretty cool.
Chopper 1. Iron Tank was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I liked Iron Tank. Okay, POW is great. I don't know Paddlemania. This does have the original Baseball Stars, which is pretty cool. The NES version of that. Beast Busters, I don't know. Akari Warriors 3. Prehistoric Isle, I don't know. SAR Search and Rescue, I don't know. Street Smart, I don't know. And then Crystalis, which I don't like. So, like, looking at it, just the value proposition was not there for me.
Yeah, for sure.
But now seeing that it's handled, seeing the way that Digital Eclipse handled it, it's like, well, maybe it always should have been there for me, because this is a very interesting collection, and maybe I will learn to appreciate these classic SNK games more than I ever did before.
Or maybe not. Either way. Yeah. I mean, we kind of, I think we came to the conclusion, right, after interviewing our friend there, that, I'm just going to say our friend because I forgot his name. I think we came to the conclusion, though, that, like, we're just going to trust what you do.
Yeah.
Right? You've kind of gotten to that point now with what you guys have done, to where you've kind of earned a certain degree of trust, where it's like, all right, cool. Like, you guys are doing something, you're putting your name on it. It's something I'm willing to check out.
Yeah, at this point, Digital Eclipse kind of has they don't always have my guaranteed money because they make a lot of stuff, but I'm definitely paying a lot more attention to them since Atari 50. They have my attention more than they ever have before. So I am excited.
Right on.
Let's see. That weird Charles Martinet video came out, right? Did you see that?
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, I still don't know what any of this means.
I don't know that he does either, which I think is kind of the fun part.
I don't think there's anything nefarious going on. I mean, he's been playing Mario for like a very long time, and I don't know, like it's look how many times Sonic's voice has changed. Like, why does everyone care? I don't understand this really deep emotional connection to the wahs and wahoos. I don't understand it. I am a Nintendo fiend, and I friggin' love 2D Mario games, and I didn't even notice during the trailer that Mario's voice was different. I don't even know how so many people did. Like, wait, that's not. I don't think that's Charles Martinet. Like,
they didn't know. They didn't know until somebody else pointed it out, and then they got fake outraged for fake internet points.
I don't think that's Charles Martinet in the trailer. Like, how did you? Why? Why don't you think that? It just sounds like Mario. It sounds like some guy saying what? Whatever. It's just fucking weird, man.
I think we talked about it the other week too, right? Of like, it's not like Mario has been out here delivering fucking like life-changing soliloquies over the last 30 years. That's just not a thing that's fucking happened. Right? It's silly. It's very silly.
I agree. Charles Martinet has done wonderful work, and I don't want to negate his career or anything like that. I don't want to.
But and I don't say this in like a dickhead way, but like, has he?
Yeah.
I mean, what has he done?
all the stuff that's not actually in the games, like his appearances where he just talks as Mario and stuff.
Yeah, sure. No.
I'm great.
I'm talking about like his fucking like his catalog of game work. You know, that's more what I'm talking about. Like, he's had and I'm very happy that he's had the career that he's had. He seems, for all the world, to be a very nice man. And I'm very happy that he's been successful and happy in the work that he's done. But like, if we could all just pump the brakes and pull the car over on the side of the pretentiousness turnpike for a second here, he hasn't fucking really done anything. As far as like the video game world, like, it's the same thing as like, and I hate to bring it up, but like Tommy Tallarico being like, the fucking Roblox grunt is me. Like, is it? Who cares? Shut up. I don't fucking care. It's a noise. Like, it's I don't know. It's very, very strange to me. It's a very odd thing. Maybe I'm the asshole. Maybe I am.
A lot of his work, when I'm looking at his list of games, a lot of it is Mario. Like, the vast majority is Mario. But like, he did he voiced a character in the Ratchet & Clank series called Orvis.
Sure.
His
a voice actor.
Announcer work in fucking Runner 2 is phenomenal. Runner 2 and Runner 3, actually. Just I love that.
I'd be more upset if he was retiring from the Runner series.
Oh wow, he's playing a character in Dragon Ball Legends. That's amazing. But yeah, he's a voice actor, and I'm sure he's gonna get plenty of work in the future. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what made this whole thing happen. Like, I don't know what the cause of this is, and I honestly don't. The only reason I care is because it is slightly mysterious, but like, and it's all being handled very weird. But everyone seems happy.
Have they announced who the new voice is?
No, they just said that it was a new voice.
It's fucking AI. That's why.
Oh, you think it's AI?
Yeah, for sure. Why wouldn't it be? It doesn't need to be anything. You don't need anybody to emote or act. I heard fucking Steve Perry, the fucking dipshit from Journey. I heard him singing a bunch of fucking Queen songs on YouTube the other day. He didn't do that, but I heard him do that. I also heard fucking Freddie Mercury sing Don't Stop Believin', and you know what? Freddie did it fucking better. Except no, he didn't. I mean, because why? If all you're doing is Wahoo and whatever, like, why would you pay somebody for that? That seems silly.
Because you should pay people to do voice acting? I don't know.
But it's not but you're not voice acting. Snake is voice acted. That's a voice acting role. Wahoo! That's not voice acting. That's you going fucking wahoo. Yes. That's the Roblox grunt. It's the same thing.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, the Roblox grunt is a different animal because that's literally a kid who grunted. This is like, I think you're underselling the work that goes into something like that, and I think you're underselling it by a lot. Perhaps. I think when you have a character when you have a character that you hire an actor to do, react to hitting a wall, react to stepping on something, like you have to come up with those different reactions to things. Like, it isn't just Wahoo, or it isn't just It's a Me Mario. There was more to it. There was a lot of sounds and grunts and little sentences here and there. It's not Solid Snake level of work. It's not David Hayter again delivering soliloquies. But I don't think it's fair to undersell the guy's work like that.
I don't know. I have a character to play on the show, Kris. So
it's fair. It's fair.
So I have to.
You hate Mario. I get it.
I'm trying to stay fucking character, man.
I've met Charles Martinet a handful of times. I way before he became a household name, I hung out with him for like an hour at a Game Crazy convention.
Yeah.
And
he's a nice guy, right?
He's a nice guy, but he's a weird guy. And like, Nintendo's a weird company. So that who knows what the hell went down between them. But yeah, like, well, honestly, the first thing that he said to me that blew my mind was when he said that he did all the voices in Super Punch-Out for Super Nintendo. Like, what? That was you? I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit. He did all the counting to 10 and all that shit. Like that's Charles Martinet. It kind of sounds like him when you hear it. It's like, yeah, I guess I could hear him. That does kind of sound like him doing a voice. All right, interesting. But anyway, that video came out and it was really weird. It's really what I was getting to.
Yeah, it's a strange video.
Atari bought Atari Age,
which is cool. I think
that's pretty interesting. It makes more sense than when they bought Moby Games, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
I still don't really understand that particular purchase. Like, I don't know what Atari gets out of Moby Games, but Atari Age, that makes sense. They want to try and get a little bit more involved in, like, there's this really active homebrew community for all these Atari systems. And they're like, well, why don't we just make them official? Like, we'll come in and now you can make them official Atari games. Like, here you go.
Yeah.
We'll officially publish your homebrew games. So now they're not just homebrews, they're Atari games. Congratulations. I think that's neat.
That's pretty cool.
There are obviously a lot of people who think that it's going to go the way of a Nintendo Age, which was a much more volatile site that was, I'm pretty sure it was bought by the people who did VGA, and then they gutted the site and used it to, like, enrich their collections and then turned into that whole scam with the VGA and the grading of the games and all that nonsense.
Yeah.
I don't think that's where Atari's going with this. I do think it's neat that they own that name again, I guess.
Yeah.
Because, like, they kind of... Atari Age and Atari Age are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes a lot more sense when you write it down. Atari Age, all one word, is the website. Atari Age, 2 words, is their original... Yeah. Atari Age. The Atari Age was Atari Age magazine that was like the Atari's equivalent to Nintendo Power. But so I think it's really cool that they are involved in that now. I don't think they have any plans to mess with anything, because that seems to be what they did with Moby Games. They're like, we're just going to fund this shit. Have fun.
Yeah, we're just going to make some money off of it and put some money behind it to make it a little bigger. Yeah, which is a good way to go about things.
But they didn't change anything. I don't know how they're making money off of Moby Games, because they didn't make it bigger. They were just like, we own this now. Just do what you do.
Oh, I'm sure they're making money somewhere.
They've got to be. I have no idea how. I don't know what they're doing there that makes them money. But either way, I do think the Atari Age thing is cool. I think that what Atari is doing in general right now is really cool. I think we talked a little bit about the 2600 plus. Did we talk about that thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a conversation about that. I think that's a neat piece of hardware. It's weird, but, whatever.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be better than the Hyperkin Retron 77, so yay. I can get the 2600 that plugs into my HDMI without any modding or anything or weird cables. Good for me. Hooray. It's super niche, but hey, let's do it.
My favorite thing that happened this week comes from our friends over at D-Brand. Now D-Brand is the guys who make the D-skins for the PlayStation 5. The fucking like replacement covers and whatnot. And
right, make your PS5 less ugly thing.
Yeah, and they're always really like shitty and snarky in their fucking their branding and their comments and whatever. So Sony put out a limited edition Spider-Man 2 PlayStation 5, which is fucking sold out everywhere because of course it is. And it's got like these cool Spider-Man 2 themed like red and black Venom is taking over plates on it. D-Brand, not to be outdone, have pointed out that they are selling their own Arachno plates for the PlayStation 5 that are $64.98, 1 penny cheaper than the competition. And the ad copy on the website says the brackets popular video game console maker brackets Megacore failed to produce enough stock of their brackets licensed video game side panels. Thanks for dropping the ball, you brackets series of expletives. That is the ad copy. Fuck yeah, guys. That's awesome. Well done. The series of expletives made me laugh. Anyway.
I'm trying to think of a clever way to say that you're a series of expletives, but...
Your mom's a series of expletives.
See, there it was, and I just missed
there
it.
It is. I got you.
Stepped right over it.
I'm here for you. It is a really cool website. I don't know if you've ever been on the D-Brand website, but like they do a really nice job. Their site's all fucking like super interactive when you scroll through, and it's got it's neat. Their shit's a little bit more expensive than it should be. Because you can just go on Amazon and get very, very similar shit for cheaper. But it is cool. Their marketing's great. Dark Blades 2.0. Checkmate, lawyers. It's very fun.
I like companies with personality.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess the only other thing I was going to mention is that there's a bunch of rumors about Nintendo Direct next week, which makes sense. There's almost always a Nintendo Direct in mid-September.
Are they going to go head-to-head with the Apple thing, though? Like, do they usually do it in the same week Apple announces the new iPhone? Because that's on the 12th.
Yeah, I feel like they've been near each other from time to time, but I don't think it ever really... I don't think anything ever really comes of it. They're kind of different audiences.
Oh, sure. Are we getting the Switch Pro or the Switch 2 yet?
Well, rumor is that at Gamescom they showed off the Switch successor behind closed doors, and it is apparently more powerful than people expected. But I take those rumors with like a doom barrel full of MSG. Like, okay, sure, why not? These are probably the same people who've been saying the Switch Pro will be announced next week for the last 3 years. So yeah, again, huge loads of sodium with that particular rumor.
Where would you, as a Nintendo whore that you are, where would you feel comfortable with the Switch successor, whatever the fuck it's called, the Switch 2, the whatever, landing? Like PS3 level, PS4 level?
Well, we're already at PS3 level. That's what the Switch currently is.
Kind of.
That's not really up for debate. That's what that is. That is PS3 360 level of system right there. Whether or not it always gets that same performance, that's the technological equivalent. That's what generation power-wise the Switch is right now.
Okay.
I mean, it makes sense to go PS4, I guess. if we're gonna shoot up in that general direction, I guess technologically whatever they want, really. I don't feel the need for the graphics on my Switch to be much better than they already are, because I don't play a lot of graphically intensive games.
No, sure. I think the bigger thing with the new Switch would be consistent frame rates and performance and that sort of thing, and making ports easier and that sort of shit.
Yeah, I want it to perform better. I don't need the games to look much better than they do right now. I don't need more hyper-realistic stuff. I just want...
Except for the show. That needs to look better.
The show does need to look better. No
that needs to look way better.
Yeah, so I guess PS4 quality would be what I would want out of a proper Switch, because that would be the next generation up. I think anything less than that is going to be it's not going to be enough, because it's not going to feel like a generational leap. Because right now, like I said, we're at PS3 and 360. That's what we're at right now, which is and when it hits it, it's amazing. Look at Metroid Prime Remastered. When you do it right, you can make that shit look fantastic.
Yeah.
But then you also get people who don't program things right, and we wind up with the Metal Gear Solid 2 running worse than it did on PS3.
Yeah,
or PS2
that's kind of where I'm wondering where the focus.
Yeah,
that's
not because that's not a system power thing. That's we're just not going to do the work kind of a thing. Because we've seen time and time again that if you do the work, or if you know what you're doing, if you know how to handle the system, just like any other system. We saw this with the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
We saw games on Xbox 360 trounce the shit visually, performance-wise, out of PS3 versions when they absolutely fucking shouldn't have, because nobody wanted to put in the work to make it work. And we're in the same exact situation. It's just, you want to put the work in, you want to put the time in, you could make something great. Or you could look at how good Mario Kart 8 still looks. It still astonishes me. Good. Especially the stuff that was made for it. The DLC stuff is definitely a step back visually. It's getting better with each round, like it get a bit more detailed. But man, when you go back and look at just the base courses for Mario Kart 8, it's like,
it's a good looking game.
What wizardry did you do to make this shit work? Because this is
a really
nuts.
good looking game.
Yeah. So I don't know. I would like to see. I would like to see it all in all perform better. What I really want is. What I want to see is probably never going to happen, which would be something more akin to maybe working towards making what the Wii U was supposed to be work better. Because there are aspects of the Wii U that I miss, like the asymmetric multiplayer stuff that you could do. Yeah. Where somebody has the screen and the other people have controllers and they're seeing something different on the TV. I miss, like with Zelda, the ability to have that second screen for inventory management, stuff like that. I miss that second screen, not as like the primary thing all the time, but as a there are so many Switches out there. I think it would be really interesting if a second screen experience was an option if you already had an original Switch, right? You could just use your old system as a controller, but I feel like that's really unlikely. But I don't want them to reinvent the wheel. I don't want them to completely go insane and then make it so that nothing can ever be ported to it or from it ever again.
And have a fucking Wii U situation.
Yeah, like, or even a Wii situation. You've got so many Wii games. Like, look how much work had to go into porting Skyward Sword, for crying out loud. And even then, it's not 100% right, because the game was designed for this motion control thing from the ground up, right?
Yeah.
Or even all the DS games that have never been ported to anything because they would require serious reworking because they were designed for two separate screens. I really like the Switch. It's just this perfect little thing that I can pick it up and play it anywhere I want in the house, or I can sit back and play with it on the TV. I can take it with me when I go places. It's the perfect system for me. I just want it to run better. I want the Joy-Cons to be better controllers. I want the user interface to be
D-pad, damn it.
Yes, I want a D-pad right out of the box. I want the user interface to be more customizable. I don't know why we don't have themes. I don't know why we don't have folders on the main screen, which again doesn't bother me that much, but it's like...
But it's a little fucking weird.
It's a little fucking weird. There was
that
a lot
it's not there yet.
And
like, if it's not there yet, it's not coming.
Probably, but who knows? How many years into the PS3's life were you allowed to change your name? And that whole thing, like,
that's fair.
The PS3 was on the market for like 7 years. Like, hey, guess what? You can change your username. Like,
can I? Awesome! I'm so excited.
Thumbs up, fellas. Good work. Right?
Well
was it
done,
themes?
you.
There was a theme shop added to the 3DS like 5 years into its life cycle.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, sure. Thanks,
weird.
but I understand. I didn't really get it at first why there were so few features in the Switch's user interface, but I understand now that everything that has been done with the Switch UI has been done around making it as fast as possible, which I really appreciate, because every time I go to play my PlayStation or my Xbox, like I booted up my PlayStation 4 to put something on YouTube a couple of days ago, and it was like the process of getting there
is a pain in the ass.
It's so much slower than the Switch, and even when you go, especially when you go back to the Wii U, which was like, holy shit, that thing's slow.
Yeah.
Everything about the Switch is incredibly snappy, and that was what they put all their focus on, was like, how do we make this run as fast as possible? And that means no music in the eShop. I don't know that I love that sacrifice. You know, I will take the eShop doesn't run like incredibly as smooth as it should right now. Anyway,
I don't really love the eShop. It's fucking. It's kind of a pain in the ass to navigate.
Yeah, no, the eShop's not great. It's super laggy when you move around. So like, fuck it. If it's already trash, give me music. Give me my shop music pack.
It doesn't have the name of the game under the game, and sometimes I can't see what a game is called.
And it like, automatically switches to the screenshot too.
Shit.
Like,
yeah.
Because like, all right, when they added that feature where it switched to screenshots of the game when you highlighted it, I was like, that's a really cool idea. Except give me a second. Give me like 3 seconds of highlighting the icon before you start switching to all these things. Because now I'm looking at like, well, I don't want to boot up. I don't want to click on it and load up the whole purchasing screen. I just want to know what the fuck it is first.
Yeah, it's a choice. It's interesting. I don't love it. It's not a well-designed shop for me. And that's not me playing a character on the show or like being a fucking dick or whatever. I legitimately do not think it is an enjoyable experience.
It was a really well-designed shop when there was like 15 games on it.
Yeah.
Like when that thing launched and it was like, the library's really small. Oh, this is nice. It's nice and zippy and snappy.
Sure.
But then they were like, anyone can publish anything regardless of what it is. Have fun.
Anything.
How many clocks are on there? Who cares? Publish it all. Now it's just the dregs of humanity. It's just all this mobile game nonsense slapped all over the. That's what I want more than anything for Switch 2. Is I want some fucking quality control. I want them to stop being like. I want them to do what Atari's doing with their shop, except with people actually wanting to publish their games on the system instead of having to track them down in the other direction. I want Nintendo to say no to somebody. I want
I just don't think that's where we are anymore with Nintendo.
I don't think that's where we are
which
either.
Is strange. Because like there's a couple games that pop up on the PlayStation Store every now and again that are like these really basic PS1 style graphic games, and like they go on sale for 49 cents. But there's like 3 of them.
Switch eShop is
all of them.
It's almost Steam at this point.
Yeah, it really. But
and
even
really
Steam has like curated lists, and like there's ways to get around the Steam store that make some kind of sense.
Yeah, Nintendo doesn't have that.
Yeah, like I'm looking. I have
chronological order.
Steam up. I have Steam up right now on the computer, and like if I click on by curators, right, I can go and look at different curated lists that makes some kind of sense. Like there is just a metric fuck ton of bullshit on Steam, which is absurd because I think it costs like $100 to fucking put your game on Steam or something like that. But there are ways to get around it in Steam. Not on the eShop though. It's like, nope, fuck you. Fuck you, you're gonna sift through everything. We're gonna break you down to where you just buy a game because you're angry.
This I'm finding incredibly frustrating. I am looking at the eShop on my computer right now.
Yeah.
And it's kind of great.
Is it?
I'm just like, it's zippy. They've got, there's a coming soon list, a see full list. You can click on that. There's all these different, you can do deals, demo available, DLC. You can separate it by online features, availability, game type, all these little things on the side here.
Yeah.
God, there's so many. Action, 5,086 games. Holy shit. But like, you can narrow it down to all these different kinds of things and then go from there. Like, I'm gonna click puzzle and see what happens. Now I've got a buttload of puzzle games showing up. And I can further refine from there if I want to. Sort by featured, release date, title, price. This is a fully functional shop online. Yeah. Why can't I do this on the Switch?
Yes.
I want no, Dan, I want an answer, goddammit. Why is America the greatest country in the world?
It's not anymore. That's such a good fucking scene.
Isn't
God
it?
Damn it, it's so good. So goddamn always.
I really liked that show.
That was a really good fucking show. And yeah, I think a lot of people really missed the point of that show. And
I'm sure they did. Just like people miss the point of everything.
See,
you know, and I'm gonna buy this Metal Gear Solid collection, 100%. No questions asked. I don't care that the PS2 Metal Gear Solid 2 runs at 30 frames per second. I don't give a shit. It's a consistent 30 frames per second, so it's gonna look fine to me.
I'm good with it. Let's see, what is the top rated Metroidvania on Steam? Hollow Knight. Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. I wonder how would I find that on the Switch eShop, because like they don't use that term Metroidvania. Let's see. Game type. Action, adventure, education, other, platformer, puzzle, simulation, sports, strategy, training. I guess let's go with adventure. Action and adventure. Yeah, Metroid Dread is on there, so I guess this is the category, but they don't really have it split like Metroidvania. And so you featured, right? Because you can't rate things on here.
Yeah.
So,
see, this is bad. Now that I have a computer that might play some of these games off of Steam, it's like,
now
all
you're
right,
in trouble.
Fuck. There's a lot of Metroidvanias on Steam that I want to check out. This fucking Superland 6 inches under, that is coming to Switch, right?
Mm.
I think we fucking talked about that in one of the. I don't remember. It doesn't matter.
All right, what is Dinosaurs Mission Dino Camp?
See, this is the problem. Guerrilla War was a very short game. We don't have a lot to talk about, guys. So we're looking through stores on the. This is a good podcast right now.
I'm honestly not stretching. I was just looking around and being like, all right, what's Dinosaurs Mission Dino Camp? You have my attention. What are you? Doesn't look great. The Gargoyle is remastered. All right, we got a trailer for this.
Oh, I saw that. I watched that trailer. I'm pretty excited about it. Looks good.
I wish I was, because I don't think it looks very good. I think...
Really?
I wasn't a huge fan of the Genesis game to begin with. And like when it starts running, I'm like, okay, there's the Genesis game. I remember this game. I didn't hate it. I didn't play a ton of it. I'd be interested in playing it again. The problem is that when they switched over to the new art style, I was like, oh, cool. Except they didn't add any frames of animation. They just drew over the existing ones.
Right.
So like the art, the clarity of the art doesn't match the animation anymore. It really looks extra choppy because it's like this super high quality art just added over, like drawn right over the Genesis animations.
Yeah.
I just don't think the game looks very good in this new style. Still screenshots look amazing, but like there's no idle animations for some characters, right? Because like you didn't need them when it was still sprites.
Yeah.
But like if you look at the last shot of the trailer, it's Goliath is getting ready to face off against Demona, and she's just standing perfectly still. She's in a fighting pose. She's in a fighting stance, but there's no idle animation to it at all. It's just a still static shot of her looking fantastic, just like the cartoon, but also not moving. So this is not DuckTales remastered.
No,
this was
it
clearly
definitely
intended to be
Yeah.
DuckTales remastered. But this, what's this team? They have an interesting resume, and I looked up that resume, and I can't remember any of the games. Empty Clip Studios. They have an interesting resume, but not a great resume. They're not way forward, I'll tell you that. And this, if you were gonna do this should have been way forward. Because man, when you're looking at these still screenshots, this game looks amazing. And then when you see it in motion, it's like, this game looks weird.
This looks way less than amazing.
Yeah,
I don't know, I'm still pretty excited about it. I want it to be really great. I don't think it's going to be really great.
It's not, because it's literally just the Genesis game drawn over.
Yeah.
And the Genesis game, I'm not a pro.
Isn't that
I don't
kind of what they did
great,
with
though.
what, the fucking Castle of Illusion? Didn't they just kind of draw over that one too?
I didn't play that remake, so I don't know.
I don't remember.
But like, all right, another perfect
ago.
example. They did that's how they did that Street Fighter Ultra Street Fighter remix, the HD one.
Yeah.
That's how they did that. They didn't add any frames of animation, but that was a fighting game, so at least I understood it. But then you had something like Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap, which literally runs over the old game. Like you can swap back and forth at any time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they added a ton of animation and they made it work. And that's what this game needs. If you're going to do something like this, you've got to do something like that. And this ain't it. But again, I don't really remember much about the Genesis game other than I remember being super excited that there was a Gargoyles game. I played it for a few minutes and said, okay, this is fine.
It's a super frustrating game.
What were the reviews on that? What is its Metacritic score? Does it even have one? Yeah, it seems to average like 3.5 out of 5. So it's a middling game. Gargoyles is such a great property. Like you want to see it. You want to see it succeed in any way, shape, or form. But
yeah, for sure.
This game did not excite me the way that I had hoped it would.
Really, what it comes down to, Chris, Hollow Knight Silksong still isn't fucking out, and we still have no idea when.
Nothing. We've got,
and that is ultimately why I'm going to start punching puppies.
It is a tragedy of epic proportions.
It's fucked up.
No question. It's
fucked up, Chris. There's no other way to put it.
Say something.
Say
please.
something. Say fuck you guys. We'll put it out when we're ready. Like, all right, fine. Like, I wish you would say something different.
Exactly. Like, just something. Give me something. But they've given us nothing. Nothing but sadness.
Nothing.
Nothing but pain and sorrow and hope.
Not even hope. I don't have any hope anymore.
Fucking
copium now. That's where I'm at.
Pure unadulterated sadness.
Just
all right. This has gone on long enough. Let's take ourselves a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Guerrilla War for NES, a game that I picked and I still like. So there, spoiler alert. I finally picked a game that I think is a good one. I finally picked a game that wasn't a bad time. Hooray for me. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from Geekade.com. Stick around.
oh shit. Okay, good. I have to yawn. Fuck. I've been holding back.
My tummies are rumbling a little bit, so I'm going to take some Pepto right now.
Oh,
I didn't even
boy.
have anything. Didn't
It's
even have
time.
anything weird today. Had no chocolate milk, no nothing.
It's
just a
time.
little rumbler. I'm just gonna take care of business.
Just a little tummy
Thank
rumbling.
God for Pepto pills, right? I hate that pink stuff.
I don't fucking know. I don't take that shit. I'm not a fucking pussy. That was so antagonistic. I'm sorry.
Make me laugh while I'm fucking swallowing pills, you dick.
Oh man, I will tell you, Chris.
I'll shit my pants like a man.
That's right. There's been a couple times since the gallbladder has been removed where it's been like, I know I mentioned it like early on of like the game of poop or fart is a way more interesting game now, but there's a couple times where I've come pretty close to fucking losing that game. You're like, whoop, oh boy. Man, that was a lot closer than it used to be. Fucking feel like an old ass man. Just shitting my pants. Fuck.
Shit's getting real, and I'm not.
And
not
I'm
just
not.
an expression.
Nope. Oh boy. Like, cause Tiff used to get mad. Cause I don't give a shit. Like, we'd go out to eat. Like, and we'd go to like fucking Applebee's or whatever, or some like bullshit chain restaurant. And then we go to like Target or whatever afterwards. I'd be like, all right, you go look at the fucking doilies or whatever you bitches look at. I'm gonna go shit in the fucking Target bathroom. Because I don't care. I will poop in public. Doesn't fucking bother me. It's whatever. That's what the toilet's there for. And she always used to give me a face. She'd be like, I don't want to go out to eat first, because then we're gonna go to Target and you're gonna leave me alone. And I'm just gonna walk around like a sad, lonely housewife at Target. I'm like, all right, that's fair. I get that. But now there are times where I give her a look and she's like, all right, we're going. Don't worry. I'm like, it's time.
Okay, we are back, and Dan just mentioned 2 news stories that we forgot to talk about. So just real quick, Roblox is coming to PlayStation.
Which is huge. That's like mad. And Chris and I were just saying, like, neither of us realized it wasn't on console. Yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of did because my kids only play it.
I don't know anything about Roblox other than the fact that Tommy Tallarico really wants to sell the oof noise that he takes credit for but didn't make.
Yeah. That's so unlike him. That's weird. What a fucking... What a strange twist.
I hope he's getting paid real well for that PlayStation port, which I'm sure he was heavily involved in.
Heavily. Yeah, no, that's really cool. There's a lot of really cool stuff on Roblox. It'll be interesting, I guess, to see like what, if anything, changes or like there's additional stuff that you can do. I don't know. It's interesting.
I still don't completely understand what Roblox is, other than a way for people to make a lot of money off other people's work. But
that seems to be what it is. That's like, it seems to be.
You make games, and we make money off of it, and you make
some money off of it, but we also make money off of it.
So, like, we'll make like say $100,000 off of your work, and that'll be great, and we will send you a check for about 4.
For fuck you. That's what we'll send you a check for.
Thanks.
We'll send you a check for eat a bag of dicks. That's what we'll send.
But I am admittedly woefully undereducated on... Well, not woefully, because I don't care. I don't want to know more about Roblox.
Yeah, I
want to know
exactly
as little about Roblox
as much as I need to know about Roblox.
I want to know as little as possible. The other thing was there was a new trailer for Jean-Claude Van Damme in Mortal Kombat.
Which is great. Fucking love it. Very excited about it. I love that the first combat pack has Homelander in it. I'm very excited about that. Oh, man. I'm into this game.
Game looks completely bonkers. I still
really
don't like the way it
does.
animates.
No, I don't
hate
either.
I hate the way it looks, but I love that it exists in the degree that it does. But anyway, let's talk about Guerrilla War. Guerrilla War video game. Edit all this shit out. All right, Guerrilla War, released in Japan as Guevara, which, wow,
naturally,
that's right on the nose. It's an overhead run-and-gun video game produced by SNK, originally released for arcades in 1987 as a coin-operated arcade game Guerrilla War was ported to Amstrad CPC, Apple II, Commodore 64, Nintendo Entertainment System, PlayStation Network, and ZX Spectrum. So
and we played each version.
We did all of them at the same time. All right, so the Alphabet Super Series, for anybody who's new around here, every month Dan and I take turns picking a game that starts with the next letter of the alphabet that one or both of us haven't really played before or haven't played in a long time, just something to focus on. And the letter G came around, and I had a pretty shitty track record so far with the Super Series.
That's one way to put it.
I kept hoping for things to be good, and then Eternal Champions just is not a very good game. So Contra Legacy of War is exactly as bad as I had heard. I didn't have a great track record so far, so I wanted to pick something for G that I knew was going to be good, that I was confident in. And so I chose a game that I played the hell out of as a kid, which was Guerrilla War for NES. We used to rent this game from Captain Video, which was the video store that was right around the corner from our house. My sister and I could walk there, and it's a 2-player co-op top view game, kind of like Commando. And it controls a little weird at first, but once you get used to it, it's not that hard of a game. And I remember we would rent this and beat the heck out of it, and we would do it kind of repeatedly. Like every couple of weeks or so, we'd rent this game again and then just beat it a couple of times.
Because it's very, very short.
It's very
short. It's like what, a half hour, I think. Like,
what did I put into it? I actually can probably time it because I beat it top to bottom today. I want to say it was close to an hour, maybe.
Okay.
Let's see. What did the Switch say? How much time did I put into SNK Collection today? Time played about 45 minutes. Yeah. So about 45 minutes total.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
That's a one sitting kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah, this is definitely a one sitting kind of game. Like the suspend state is great, so you can, don't have to do a single sitting on it, but it's not there's not a lot to this game. But there's just enough to it to make it fun.
A ridiculous amount of violence.
Oh my god, so many dead bodies.
It's fucking, like, I know it wasn't until like the mid 90s that we started being like, oh, these video games, they're kind of violent. But like, you go back and look at and this is like Rambo the movie levels of violence, where it's just Rambo shows up in a different country and kills fucking the entire country. It's absurd.
It's just dropping dudes all over the place.
Oh my god!
At least Contra, they exploded like they're robots or aliens or something. This is just these are people.
This is human life.
This is
that you are just
mowing down.
It really, like, if you really think about what is being depicted on the screen here, it is an absurd level of violence.
Oh, and the weapons are super fun, but like
they really
when you
are.
think about it, like we're just shooting rockets at these people.
Yep. Rocket launcher and flamethrowers.
The flamethrower is my favorite.
Everyone
that is my favorite because like it's not even like burning things to a crisp. It's like it just eradicates whatever is in its way. That flamethrower is such an effective item, and I always love that effect too. That's the sound that accompanies it, and the effect of it moving is so much more powerful than Contra, right? Because the fire in Contra, especially the first one, was like, it sucks. It's this little dorky little fireball that spins around in circles. This is just a wall of flaming death.
Literally obliterates everything. Even the just guys you're supposed to be saving. It's like, fuck them.
Oh yeah, you can completely kill all the hostages in it. You don't lose anything but points. So that's a good old time.
Literally does not matter.
So yeah, this is a top-down game that I never really thought I never thought twice about the controls in this game as a kid, because it just seemed perfectly natural to me. But when I loaded up the arcade version, I realized that this, much like Akari Warriors, works with a rotary. Like this was a spinner game in the arcades. So they kind of mapped it to dual analog in this one, and like it's pretty neat, like to see and hear this game's original form. But I have to say, I feel like the NES version
is
just a way more fun game to play.
I
feels
definitely
better.
enjoy it more. I don't know if that's nostalgia though.
I just think it's tighter. Like the arcade version is a bit slower. It reminds me a lot of the arcade version of Contra versus the NES version of Contra. Not quite as SNK didn't go as far as Konami did as far as translating it to actually work on a home system. Yeah, because they really changed up Contra a lot for the home conversion.
Yeah,
this is just like they took that arcade game and they made it a lot snappier. Like it feels better to control this game. It seems like it moves faster. It's not as visually impressive as the arcade version, obviously, and I didn't play through the arcade one because I didn't think it was as fun to play. Like I went back to the NES one and like it was amazing to me how little of this game I remembered, because I don't know why I haven't played this game since I was a kid, because like I said, we loved this. We beat the heck out of this, and I have a handful of very specific memories in my head of like moments from this game that like would come up and be like, I remember this. Like I remember the last boss of this game so well. I just remember that his super pale face and going back and forth and throwing a shitload of grenades at me. Like I remember that so vividly. But I haven't played this game since I was a kid. I just never got around to trying this game again, and I've loved it ever since. I've owned the cartridge, and I've seen it come and go, and I've recommended it to people. Like, yeah, Guerrilla War is a great game. I don't know why I never went back to it, but it was really fun to go through and play this again. Once I got a handle on the controls again, I just sat there and blew through the whole game, and I never got bored the entire time, because it's such a zippy little thing to blow through. It doesn't overstay its welcome, but it's just complex enough to be interesting. Like enemy formations, like they'll come out and they'll play with All right, so you have two different weapon types, right? You've got your main weapon, and then you've got grenades. And the grenades are really interesting because their grenades can go over things. You throw them over objects. So like wherever you aim that thing, it's not going to hit a wall like your regular weapon will. It's just going to go over and explode wherever you need it to be. And you can throw those things at the same time as you're shooting your other weapon. So you're not limited by it at all, which is pretty great. But the enemy formations also work under the same principle. Like enemies will come out and they'll jump. And as long as they're in the air, you can't hit them. So like they're kind of invincible, but they also won't hit you until they land. So wherever they land, they're going to land in these interesting formations where they kind of like surround you. And then you have to kind of figure out where you can blast safely without killing too many hostages, because the points will eventually get you extra lives, I think is how that works, maybe?
I think so. You don't need them because there's unlimited continues.
I forgot about that. See, I kept using the rewind function.
Yeah, no, there's unlimited continues.
I forgot there's unlimited continues, you're right. So yeah, it is kind of pointless. That's what... I remembered blasting through this game, and I just assumed we used Game Genie for infinite lives. But yeah, there was infinite continues. That's why we gave up on trying to use skill at all. We just kind of died over and over again, and it didn't fucking matter.
It's just fun.
That's awesome. I totally forgot about that. And I was abusing the rewind function for absolutely no reason. Well, I guess not absolutely no reason. What I thought was fun about using the rewind was that, like, it was just all about figuring out, okay, this formation showed up. Well, how am I supposed to do this? Instead of just dying.
How does the game want me to do it? Versus
exactly. So I'd rewind and like try it again and be like, oh, okay, I can move over here and I'll be safe. Because it is a very fair game. Like there's not a lot of stuff that just jumps out at you and like, well, insta death, insta quarter munching kill. It was just okay.
You're dead. Fuck you.
There was nothing that once I rewound, it's like, oh, this was fair. This is how I should have seen that coming. This is what the game did to show me that this attack was coming. So I really like it. I really dig this game.
Yeah, I thought it was really, really fun. I love this style of game. I played a ton of these games when I was a kid. Had a bunch, like would have friends over and play Guerrilla War or Car Warriors or Commando.
This is so good in multiplayer. That was my big gripe is that I didn't have anyone to play this with right now. Because like,
I don't
John isn't really into it. I don't have anyone to play it with. But like, shit, this game was so much fun with my sister as a kid.
But like all of those style of game, like the top down, just kill them all.
Commando.
Yeah, I fucking love Commando. Love it. And this was really, really fun. And this was SNK. Did Data East publish this? I think Data East was involved in one of these.
This was just SNK, straight up SNK.
Was it?
They developed and published it.
Maybe I'm just getting confused because of the silver box. Didn't Data East do like silver boxes at some point?
On NES, Data East did like single colored boxes.
Single
Bad
colored.
Dudes
maybe
was
that's
silver. So
okay, maybe that's what's
the most
throwing
common
off.
one. Data East was involved. Data East published it for Apple II, Commodore, and DOS.
Okay, because I definitely played this on DOS too. Like, I had this on my fucking computer, which I don't think was a very good version of it. But, like, a lot of these old, like you were talking earlier, like these old SNK games, there are a lot of really, really solid, like, before they were like, oh, Capcom's doing the fighting game thing, we're going to do that too. They made a lot of just really, really solid arcade titles. And this is just such an old school thing that, I mean, I can't imagine what a modern equivalent of this would look like. You know, because it's just, well, I mean, yeah, but like, I'm talking like traditional.
I'm talking just body count. The original Uncharted and body count is.
That is fair. Nathan Drake is the world's most just nefarious serial killer.
So many dead humans.
Oh my God. And without caring.
Well, I didn't even think about it until somebody pointed it out to me later. It never really occurred to me, like,
that killed 798,000 people in that game.
People?
Yeah.
They're fucking dead now.
Yeah, they're dead. They had families. They had plans. One of them was supposed to pick up milk on the way home from work. And milk's never going to get picked up, Chris, because of you. Yeah, no, like, this fucking wild-ass, old-school, just kill 'em all game. Like, there's really not a better way, I don't think, to describe it. Like, that is legitimately the goal of this game, is to kill everything on screen as quickly as possible before it kills you. And it's, man, they were super duper fun. Especially the tank.
I mean, they do.
Once you get into the tank.
Yeah, the tank's a good time. And the tank will, like,
your
make
whole
that.
Torso is just sticking out of the tank.
It's this little personal tank laying around that will eventually explode. But it gives you that little beeping warning and stuff, too. So, yay.
Just a wild-ass game. It's good stuff, man. I like this one.
I was really happy to go back to it.
Like you said, it's exactly what it needs to be. It doesn't overstay its welcome. You blast on through it. It's a lot of fun. It's a game that has a ton of replayability because it is just so much fun to go through. You're not looking for secrets. You're not trying to unlock like fucking things. You just, nope, this is fun. I'm gonna do this again. It's great. Well done, sir. It's about time.
Yeah, nice to finally have a win. I had a ball today. I just did it today because I knew that this game was short. So like I bought the SNK collection yesterday and I played like a few minutes of it and then I did the rest of it today just because I wanted it to be fresh before doing the podcast. And I was like, yeah, this is exactly as good as I remember. This is super fun. It's not a masterpiece by any means, but it's exactly what it needs to be.
It's 100% what it needs to be. It achieves everything it was going for. It's really fucking awesome. Yeah.
Hooray.
Good pick. All right.
So what are we doing for the letter H? Oh wait, we have one. And this is a very good point. We have one thing from Chronodin in the Super Series Discord chat.
Okay.
He said, initial observation about Guerrilla War. Don't play this game if you're prone to seizures. It's quite fond of flashing white lights. Oh that my God, true. He's so right.
That is very, very true.
This is a very flashy game. And I mean that literally.
Yes.
Lots of flashing. Let's see, what did I write down? I can't believe how little of this game I remember, but also specific stuff like the big dudes who spin you around and throw you. That was another memory that was very like burned into my head and I forgot all about it.
Yeah.
But as soon as I got to it, that the two of them squeezed in that tank, so like these big dudes like squished together in this little tank, and then all of a sudden you blow up the tank and they get out and they pick you up and spin you around. I was like, oh, what's that? I remember this now. They throw me into the mine, and then you get to do that. Was it the mine cart stage, right?
Yeah,
where
that
you're
was
using
very
the
cool.
rope to like save all the save as many people as you can. Like, so they just lined this mine cart. Here's a mine. We're just gonna fill it with POWs. We're just gonna tie up all these dudes and just line this cave with these dudes. Like, what? What is happening here? This game's so weird.
Why is any of this happening?
And like,
That's
what
very,
happens
very
when you
strange.
save them? Like, if you throw a lasso at them, and what do you pull them in your mine carts? You got like 50 guys. in this
Yeah.
mine cart.
It's just you and 49 other dudes in a fucking minecart hanging out.
Great. But like the way that did the turns, like the screen just kind of like stops in very choppy animation, but it does it. It actually animates the whole screen turning, like trying to do some sort of approximation of scaling and rotation, which was like, this is pretty wild. I remember being really impressed by that as a kid. Like, wow, the whole thing turns. That's so wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were all the notes I wrote down.
All right.
Good game. What are we doing? What's the
Good game.
What's the H? What's the happy haps?
So I really did waffle on this one, especially because I know you have your commitments, for like your job and whatever, fucking lame, with shit that you like actually have to play. Because H is kind of a weird letter. There's a ton of like really long games. It's like, all right, well, I'm gonna make Kris play Hogwarts Legacy. Because why not?
No,
You
I
got to play
refuse.
this 70-hour game.
Not playing that game.
Or,
No,
I
thank
mean,
you.
you did make me play Echo the Dolphin a little while ago, so I did very strongly consider saying that we were playing Heavy Rain.
I'm so glad you passed. I would have done it.
I know
done
you
that.
would have, because you
Would've
would
done
have
that
had
before,
to. That's the way this works.
I
But
would happily do that before. Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah. But I eventually settled on a game that I have played through before, which is kind of a cheat for what we're doing. But the reason that I'm going back to it is because I never played the DLC shit.
And I never played it.
And you never played it, and it's a game that you are going to love, as long as I don't know about the Switch version, and that's the version you're going to play, but I know it plays great on PS4. And we are playing Hat in Time for this next month's Super Series. Now, before anybody gets all shitty and you're like, actually, that starts with an A. No, it fucking doesn't. Because when you alphabetize shit, you don't count A, you don't count you don't count and. So this fucking counts for H. I promise it does. And Kris even went so far as to check it in the Game Eye, and when he added it as if he had purchased it, it put it under H. So that's what we're doing. We're playing Hat in Time. It is, and really one of the things that I'm excited to talk about next month when we do this is that I am not a huge fan of 3D collectathon platformers. That is not really one of my, it's not a genre that I'm really fond of. The Super Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie, whatever. I like Conquer, but that's because I like dick and fart jokes. The collectathon 3D platformer part of it is really secondary for me. However, I felt Hat in Time was a phenomenal game. I loved it. The music was great. The variety was great. It's such a weird, interesting, charming, lovely little game, and it's relatively short. It's about 9 hours total to get through everything, maybe a little bit longer with the DLC, but there's just a lot of really, really cool stuff in here, a lot of really great characters, really fucking great music, especially when you get to a couple sections that I don't want to say out loud and spoil anything, because it does kind of, some of it is important to the story, but really, really great music. For the listeners, if you guys haven't played it, you can pick it up physically for PlayStation 4, And Switch, it is also available if you don't want to if you don't want to spend $30 to get the physical game or whatever, through eBay or GameStop or wherever. It is also available on the extra tier of PlayStation Plus. So that's $14.99 for the month, and you can definitely get through the game in that amount of time. It's just really, really great. I hope everybody gives it a shot.
Well, I'm going to give it a shot. We talked about it a little bit before the show because Dan wanted to run it by me as far as whether or not I was okay with spending the money on grabbing this game. And this is similar to the SNK one, where it's like, I've just been looking for an excuse to buy this game for a long time. So, because Dan's been talking quite highly of it for quite some time. So yeah.
And what's nice is that the Switch version comes with the DLC stuff. So the Switch version comes with Yakuza Metro, and I forget the name of the other one. I think it comes like the Seal the Deal, maybe. I think it comes with both of them. So that's really cool too, because I'm gonna buy the DLC for it. They're like $4.99 a piece or whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna just get myself the physical version. Because again, just been looking for an excuse, so here it is. And I have a month to play it, so I have to get through the games I need to review, and then and I'll put the time into this one too.
Yeah, I might try and pick this up like used for PS4 or whatever, because I'm looking at the PS4 version and it's $18. Like,
yeah,
I can do that. You know, that's not
like a sweet deal.
Yeah, this is a game that I think I kind of like to have physical at some point. I don't know. It's good. I think you're really gonna like it. I hope you out there in listening land or wherever the fuck you are. I hope you guys pick it up too, because it's really good.
Yes, play along with us. Let us know.
Please do, and comment.
Yes,
be a part of the discussion.
We got a lot of great feedback on Flashback. We didn't get. Well, we got us that one comment on Guerrilla War. Makes me sad. Come on, people. There's a lot to say about this.
I mean, there really isn't, but
there really
it's
isn't.
All right.
But that is our show. Oh crap! I didn't really pay attention to what we're doing next week. What are we doing next week? Let me look at our schedule. What do we got next week? No plans.
Nope.
We've got nothing scheduled for next week. So join us next week when we do something that's to do with talking about video games. Yeah, we're gonna. You know what? Maybe there'll be a Nintendo Direct, and we'll disseminate that. Fingers crossed.
That's kind of what we're hoping for, right?
Yeah. If Nintendo comes out and gives us a subject, so we don't have to come up with anything. Yay! We'll think of something. We always
just
do.
Talk.
Yeah, we're good at that.
It'll be fine.
Anyways, we're on most social media platforms, and if you want to get in touch with us, we aren't all that difficult to find. All it takes is a quick look at our show notes, and you'll see links to our social media accounts, as well as all manner of other fun stuff, like a link to our namesake, StoneAgeGamer.com, and more useful links than you can shake a joystick at. If you'd like to get early access to this show's episodes, as well as a bevy of other shows on the Geekade Podcast Network, check out our Patreon, also linked in the show notes. It helps keep this show running week after week, and all our patrons are loved and appreciated. This show's theme song, Squared Roots, was written by Banjo Guy Ollie. You can learn all about his wonderful music and more by following the link to his YouTube channel, also in the show notes. And finally, as always, Evan's not here, so I'm editing the show.
That fucking prick is doing something else.
Seriously, he's out there, like, earning money and a real job and stuff.
Yeah.
Loser.
Gross.
Anyway. But we'd still like to thank you all for listening in the first place. That's it, everybody. On behalf of Dan and myself, keep playing games.